Quest updated at Game of Day. Oh god, okay. Okay. Mysterious Tower. Let's go see Vivaldi. Safe Haven. Got the rat as well. Alright. Gosh, okay.
Just our luck.
There are more massacres in the non-human quarter.
As Raupanek says, the only good
Jesus fuck. Gardener.
This hospital garden demands a caring hand.
You seem to like what you do.
Like it? I love plants and know 'em well. I spent my life dealing in bloodshed. Now's my chance for peace and quiet.
Bloodshed?
It's no point of pride, but I long earned my living as a mercenary. Those times are behind me now, and here I am, content.
I'm here about the notice.
You look like a warrior. Care to kill Echinops for me?
Certainly.
Bring their thorns as proof.
Tell me about your mercenary days.
Bring me a morsel to eat and we'll talk. Delicious. Amazing how honest toil can stir the appetite. Thank you, Witcher.
You were saying...
During the war, I served as a mercenary under Pretty Kitty herself. You've heard what a warrior she was. What a woman.
Strong women. Nothing on this earth like them.
Too true. We could take on anyone. I saw half the world as a member of Pretty Kitty's corps of mercenaries. We even went to Zerrikania.
That's really far.
It was hell. Hot as an oven, and humid as a bathhouse. We massacred the natives while Zerrikania massacred us. They have flies there that creep up your nose at night and lay eggs. Then the larvae eat your brain and crawl out your eyes once they mature into flies. Disgusting. Many of us died thus. There were also diseases, venomous spiders and snakes, and many other afflictions I can't even name. I even saw a striped horse. After almost 8 months of fighting the jungle, we had to retreat. Impossible to win a war if you can't locate your enemy. It was the only defeat Pretty Kitty ever suffered.
Interesting story. Thanks.
Look how they grow.
Don't you fear the plague?
My garden brings joy. When Melitele decides my time has come, I will go happily.
Godspeed.
Wait, come back.
Look out.
Take this. I don't really want to sell any of this shit yet.
Look.
But I will play poker with you. Oh gosh, I'm very low on money now, I've realized. Got 2 pair though. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh! Oh, right, because mine was higher. Got 2 pair again. With 6s this time. Fuck. Probably gonna lose this one. Yep. Oof, yeah. It's okay. I got 2 pair again. And he has 3 of a kind. problem. I can stop whenever I want. Shit. Yep. That's fine. I'll come back and play you later. But for now I need to go to the Hairy Bear and get all of my shit back. Nope, it's not there. It's down this a ways.
Ha! Never seen anything straight with
Okay. Just give me all my books so that I can sell them all to that book guy.
I'll smash your
Right. Start with the books. Great, now I'm full. And now I can go back. Where's the antiquarian? It is really nice seeing two swords on my back. Sorry, sir. Can I just cut through the garden?
What's that?
I can. I can just cut through the garden. Oh, there's Vincent.
Your reputation precedes you. I heard you killed 3 monsters and brought in proof.
True.
A special reward. This runic stone. Use it well. The city should offer more rewards soon.
See ya.
Something must be done about that.
Ah, shit. Take it. Nope, that's the wrong way. Sultan, how'd you get all the way over here? Pop in here and see if what's his face is in there. Bats! I love bats!
I have questions.
Ask.
A parcel's missing from my belongings.
We're glad you're not doing extra time for it. We've confiscated it. Don't mention it to the captain.
Damned thieves. I have questions.
Ask.
If Foltest put a reward on the professor's head, he must detest Salamandra.
It's not royal gold. Privately funded.
Interesting.
There's also payments for Salamander badges taken from dead bandits.
I have
Who
plenty of
is this philanthropist?
I can't tell you, but the sponsor's representative spends his evenings at the tavern.
I'll check it out. I have questions.
Ask.
Know anything about this Salamander prisoner?
Why would I tell you? The captain would kill me.
Maybe I can persuade you.
Powder would help.
I happen to have some.
I never turn down good Fizztech.
Tell me about that Salamandra prisoner.
But... I hardly know anything.
Where is he?
They took him to Lebiota Hospital.
Thanks. You should drop that habit.
Maybe, but not today.
See ya.
Cool. Alright, great. Where was it going? Back over here. Antiquary.
Come off it.
What do you want?
Oh god, the upsell on these is ridiculous. Bought these for hundreds and I'm getting 30 back. The markup is ridiculous. This is fucking insane. Now I have 1,000. What haven't I read? Haven't read. 400 orans. You know what? No, I don't need anything more right now.
You need any?
Where did you get milk? There's a quarantine. I've seen no cows.
I lived in the country and I have my ways.
Okay.
What can I do for you?
What use are your goods?
If you need no jewelry yourself, what of others? They're excellent gifts and worth 3 times the gold.
I won't have to water my garden.
Alright. This Eternal Fire Signet Ring. Well, do I think I'll need it ever again? I think probably not. And if I do, I can always come back and get it again. At an incredible markup.
What a downpour.
Herbs, ointments, flowers for the ladies.
Greetings.
You look pale. I have medications for an instant cure. My prices are reasonable.
Where do you gather your herbs?
If I told, I'd be reduced to beggary and never have a new shawl. Choose what you want and no mischief.
I don't really want anything. Oh, take the honeycomb though. I'm not ready to sell my alchemy stuff yet. I'm not really, it's not really
I'm sleepy.
full yet. Alright. So what do I want to do? I need to tell Coleman about the parcel. I should speak to the messenger of the man... Alright, meet him tonight at the Hairy Bear. Vivaldi lost control of the family business. There was a hostile takeover and the bank is now controlled by human owners. That explains the dwarf's bitterness as well as his poverty. I unfairly suspected Vivaldi of financing Salamandra. The evidence indicates he is innocent. Zoltan has managed to get into the temple quarter. The dwarf is happy to see me again. Zerrikania is a mysterious land located in the far south. The northern kingdoms have very little to do with the realm. Not a lot is known about Zerrikania. Its climate is hot, exotic animals roam the lands, and the inhabitants worship dragons. Furthermore, Zerrikania is famous for its alchemists who specialize in pyrotechnics, and for its tattooed warrior women who are skilled in the use of sabers. Hot? Oh gosh, here we go. Golem. The golem is a creature made of stone or wood brought to life by a mage and animated with the use of magic. Its tough body is immune to sword blows and most effects. The golem can be stopped by its maker. Usually the giant is set in motion by a lightning bolt, so a major electric shock might incapacitate or even annihilate it. The golem uses its superhuman strength to knock down, stun, and crush opponents. Once an absent-minded mage created a golem, animated it by casting Alzur's Thunder, and ordered his new servant to fetch water before burying himself in his scholarly books. The golem kept carrying water day and night and without pause, and ultimately flooded not only the mage's house but the whole city. As you can see, my young students of the arts, improper use of tools and a lack of elementary training may cause a tragedy. Annabelle Radfind lectures on security and hygiene in magic. Cockatrices nest in caves and dark cellars, high resistance to poisons, difficult to knock down, sensitive to silver and ornithosor oil. A cockatrice tries to surprise its opponent, strikes suddenly, and poison him with its venom. Cockatrices are born from eggs laid by roosters consorting with other roosters. The egg must be incubated for 44 days by a toad, which is devoured by the little beast as soon as it hatches. A cockatrice hates everything that lives so fiercely that its glance turns the living to stone. Only a bold adventurer with a mirror can deflect the deadly gaze and defeat the cockatrice. Alghouls appear in old necropolises and crypts, immune to common poisons and resistant to knockdown attempts, sensitive to silver. The strong style is most effective when fighting Alghouls. Experienced witchers use the group style when fighting multiple ghouls. Alghouls try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. Great. Cadaverine, white vinegar, and Alghoul marrow. Alghouls are ghouls that have been devouring corpses for so many years that human flesh becomes irresistible and they begin to prey on the living. They are seen in crypts and on battlefields, frequently surrounded by ghouls. Simple folk do not notice the difference between these two types of scavengers, unlike witchers, who know the Alghoul is more aggressive and challenging opponent. Arcspore. Arcspores grow in places where particularly cruel crimes have been committed or on the tombs of the victims of such crimes. Immune to all mind effects, they feel no pain and cannot be poisoned, blinded, or knocked down, or bled to death. Arcspores are sensitive to silver and very susceptible to incineration attempts. Arcspores shoot poison thorns, juice spores. Some crimes are so terrible that they fill people with terror and offend the gods. The criminal's ill will and the cruelty of his deed conceive a curse that brings the Arcspore to life. The beast attacks innocent creatures hatefully, trying to take vengeance until justice is done. Basilisks choose dark and damp places like caves and abandoned canal branches as their dwellings. Immune to most poisons and resistant to stun attempts, sensitive to silver and ornithosor oil. Basilisk's most dangerous weapon is its venom, one of the strongest known toxins. Simple people call the basilisk the king of the Zakarian deserts and often mistake it for a cockatrice. They claim that the beast is filled with such hatred toward all living things that even its breath is venomous, and its glance turns the unwary to stone. In fairy tales, the only certain way to kill a basilisk is by holding a mirror in front of its eyes to divert its deadly gaze. Witchers reply that it's far better to smash the mirror on the creature's head. Ooh, shit. Scimitars are rare. They are found on battlefields and cemeteries like other necrophages. They are immune to most common poisons, resistant to knockdown and stun attempts, sensitive to silver and necrophage oil. Scimitars try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. Much has been written about ghouls in graveyards, since they are encountered by common people in the times of war or in cemeteries. Scimitars are rare, but when they appear in a necropolis, they take it over. All ghouls respect them and must bow to them. Oh, you're pretty. Devourers are scavengers which live near human settlements, usually in caves and ruins, immune to conventional poisons and resistant to knockdown attempts, sensitive to silver and necrophage oil. Devourers try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. Devourers are often called night witches because they resemble old, ugly women and are famous for their witch-like viciousness. The creatures gorge themselves on human flesh, although they willingly eat carcasses. Above all, they crave flesh that is fresh and warm. Devourers hunt after dark in groups that peasants refer to as Sabbaths. They like to deceive their victims and torture them, but there is no truth to the tales that their midnight flights on broomsticks and their gingerbread houses. Echinopsis grow in places where crimes have been committed or on the graves of victims of such crimes. Immune to any effects, blah blah blah. Echinopsis are monstrous plants which grow in places where terrible crimes have been committed. The beasts try to take their vengeance on criminals, but they do not spare the lives of innocents who haplessly enter their territory. Oh, Jesus H. fucking Christ. What have I done? Oof. The mythical creature born of magic is the only a mighty mage who knows Alzur's work can summon a Koshi. Susceptible to silver, this relentless killing machine has no need for tactics. What, in your opinion, is the best way to describe a Koshi? A Kashi. Death. I'd call it death. Night wraiths appear on fields and meadows. They can be found after dark, but when the moon is high, they are specters. But at the same time, they maintain a strong connection with the natural world. They seem to be living. They see the living, but cannot understand them, because the dead cannot hear the living. Immune to blinding, poison, pain, and bleeding, sensitive to silver, they are able to grasp the moonlight and bind their enemies with it. Night wraiths are born of moonlight, wind, and earth, cooling after the heat of the day. They rise above the ground and whirl in a mad dance, which should not be seen by any mortal. If caught peeping, the mortal is blinded by moonlight, then taken to the circle and forced to dance until he expires, at times becoming a night wraith himself. Noon wraiths haunt cultivated fields and meadows. They always appear when the sun is high. They are specters, but at the same time they maintain a strong connection, blah blah blah. Able to grasp sun rays and blind enemies with them. Noon wraiths are born at high noon out of heat, sadness, and the sweat of the plowman. In the hot air above the fields, they gather to dance madly, creating air vortexes, but the specters dislike being watched. Those that peep are forced to dance with them. Noon wraiths stop their dance when the sun goes down, once the abducted mortal is long dead from fear and exhaustion. Royal wyverns are larger and more aggressive than their common cousins, and they live in the wilderness, often in the mountains, as they like to build their nests on precipices. They attack any creature entering their territory. They dive at their opponents, try to knock them down, and poison them with venom. They are more clever than the common wyverns and thus harder to defeat. The female royal wyvern is small, but more cunning and venomous than her male counterpart. She can be aggressive toward both males and other females. She is the perfect example of how gender relations among humans have their source in the animal world. This is altogether not surprising. Striga. A Striga is a woman transformed into a monster by a curse. She is filled with hatred toward all living beings, devouring them gladly. A Striga may tolerate necrophages. She needs a hideout during the day, often choosing a sarcophagus in a forgotten branch of a crypt. Sensitive to silver, a Striga may be freed from her curse by those that survive a night near her sarcophagus. A Striga is a very strong and agile creature, but not as resilient as she might seem. She attacks by surprise, then tries to tear opponents to pieces without giving them a chance to fight back. Near her sarcophagus, a Striga is always stronger. Where does it come from? Spells? Magic? I have no idea, sire. The sages are research the phenomenon. For us witchers, it is enough to know how that strong will may create them. We also like to know how to fight them. And kill them? Most frequently, yes. That is what we are usually paid for. Few want the spell lifted. People usually just want to be protected. If the monster has killed people, revenge may be another motive. Werewolves are lycanthropes, which means that they are shape changers. Humans transform into werewolves as a result of curses. The creatures lurk near human settlements. They are resistant to steel and most effects, sensitive to silver. They attack with fury and like to be on the offensive, confident that they're resistant to conventional weapons. Baron Wolfstein buried his face into his hands. His heart was throbbing. Suddenly the scent of his wife's blood and the blood of his children intensified. The Baron's body swelled as his muscles grew. His noble attire fell to tatters on the marble floor. My beloved, you are so hairy. You are a werewolf. Bianca went pale. What about our love? In reply, she heard a terrifying roar. The Wild Hunt appears in the sky as a harbinger of war and other misfortunes. Some believe it to be simply a magical phenomenon and not a horde of specters. Elven sources refer to it as the Red Riders. No information is available about fighting. No available is information about fighting. Warriors of the Wild Hunt do not have to fight. They inspire such terror that people cower at the mere glimpse. There are known instances of abductions by the Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt is a horde of specters that roam the sky during storms and is an omen of disaster. The appearance of the Wild Hunt foreshadows war and woe, much as a comet does. The spectral Wild Hunt sometimes appears in nightmares of the cursed or those touched by destiny. Wraiths haunt places where they died or were buried. They are specters which do not belong in this world. Sometimes they are summoned by magic, but more frequently unfinished business makes them linger in our world. The suffering experienced by a wraith makes the wounds it inflicts more painful. If you want to get rid of a wraith, you must first find its body. Try searching on unhallowed ground or in the corner of a cemetery where outlaws are buried. When you dig up a corpse, You will discover that it is not rotten, and that there is blood on its lips. Pierce the corpse with an aspen stake, cut off its head, and place it between the corpse's legs. This makes it certain that the wraith will never return. To make certain the wraith will never return, set the corpse on fire. One false step will mean your demise. Wyverns live in the wilderness or near human settlements. They are a natural element of an ecosystem. They are prized by druids who tame them. I would like to tame a wyvern. They dive at their opponents. Wyverns are unlikely to be frequently mistaken for dragons. Seeing a reptile approaching a flock of sheep, peasants panic. They expect it to breathe fire, massacre everyone, and abduct the local virgins. While it is true that wyverns hunt sheep, they neither breathe fire nor lay waste to whole villages, and they are completely indifferent to virgins. I like that. That's funny. Oh gosh, I have so many goddamn new things. And I don't really care about any of them. I'm not going to read these, because all it is a description. So we'll just clear them. Those. Alright. Glossary. Oh my fucking god. There's so much to read! A famous pair of lawyers who ran a firm in Dorian until both partners died tragically under mysterious circumstances. At its height, the firm was retained by people from all over Temeria. If someone had difficulties, troubles, or problems, they went to Codringer and Fen. So the firm's clients quickly received proof of dishonesty and malpractice by their business partner. They could count on receiving credit from a bank without insurance or security. As one of a long list of creditors, they would be the only ones to exact what was due from the company declaring bankruptcy. Their son would be released from the dungeon and cleared of all charges based either on irrefutable evidence or lack thereof. Because if evidence existed, it disappeared mysteriously while witnesses retracted any earlier testimonies. The wife's lover or the daughter's suitor would suffer complicated fractures in 3 limbs, including at least one upper one, as a result of an unfortunate accident. And an enemy with a grudge or some other troublesome individual would soon stop being a nuisance, often vanishing into thin air. That's how Codringer and Fen worked. Okay, I've completely forgotten what I was doing. Oh my god, there's so much to do, I don't know what to do first. Okay, map. What am I doing? Let's go to the, fuck, I can't visit her in the hospital because I can't get into the hospital. Let's go down into the sewers again. Because maybe I can get in there now. There it is.
A scourge of the Lords this rain.
Come off it.
Hey, Zoltan.
Oh, I needn't water my garden.
Sewer entrance. Let's go into the